All right, welcome back everybody to Around 10. I'm here with JC Lyons. He's our one of our FPB Safety Department gurus on hand washing. JC actually did this tutorial with us here a couple weeks ago, I think it was.
Yeah, it was about 2 weeks ago.
He became infamous throughout the company as the hand washing guru, and
right.
we thought we'd share that with you today. So JC, take us through the proper hand washing, just like you showed all of us.
Sure. So we got to kind of thinking about it's something, hand washing, we probably did as children, kids learned how to do it, but we probably haven't revisited it since then. So we thought it'd be a good step as far as what we can do to go around to different departments and make sure that everybody's doing a thorough job of properly washing their hands. So we got a couple bowls right here today, and I thought we'd kind of walk through the appropriate steps. Checking out what the CDC, World Health Organization, says about good, clean hand washing. We're going to follow those steps and stuff like that. So,
gotcha. I'll go right along with you.
Sounds good. So first thing we got to have, water and soap and some sort of method to dry our hands. So these bowls right here are going to be our sinks. We're going to get our water flowing, a comfortable temperature, something, the more that I guess it's acceptable to you, warm, cold, whatever, the longer you're going to keep your hands under. So we want to thoroughly wet our hands. So if David, you want to get your hands all nice and wet right there.
All right.
Make sure that our hands are thoroughly clean. Now, if you've got any type of jewelry or anything like that, like wedding rings or stuff, you can take them off before. Make sure you put them in a safe place or anything like that. Don't want to lose them, drop them down the sink. Next thing we're going to do is grab some soap, somewhere around like a dime size, nickel size, something like that. I'll put a little bit on your dominant, non-dominant hand, whatever's best for you. And then we're going to get our lather going. Just pretty, normal, rubbing our hands together. We're going to get that nice white frothy lather that we like.
Okay.
Do that for about 5 to 10 seconds, something of that nature. The next is what I call my C's, and the reason we do the C's right there is we want to try to get underneath our fingernail beds and stuff like that.
Okay.
People can do the little scratch back and forth, but I like to take my hand, make a little cup, come to your palm right there, and then you're just going to go in a circle and start doing your C's, as I call them. 5 to 10 seconds, just like we were doing.
Getting them fingernails.
Getting those fingernails. I'm going to do that with the other hand.
All right.
5 to 10 seconds. And then next thing we're going to go to, I call it the bird, is we're going to put our fingers together and we're going to go up like we're a bird flying in the air. Real good. Back and forth, back and forth.
In between all them digits.
You got it right there. Okay. All right, once we've got our bird flying up in the air, we're going to take our other hand and put it right on top. You can do dominant, non-dominant, what's better for you. Do that for about another 5 to 10 seconds. Make sure we haven't, missed any of those areas we didn't get the first time. We're going to scrub the top of our hands in a circular motion just like we were doing. Back and forth. And then finally, we want to, I call it encapsulate, encircle, whatever's better, around our thumbs.
All right.
To make sure we get those real good.
Okay.
So we've done that. We've gone well over 20 seconds, somewhere, probably around 30 to 40. So we're doing an extra due diligence. And now we want to do one of the most important steps is a thorough rinse. So we're going to go back to our sink, make sure we wash off all those germs we just talked about. Make sure we thoroughly rinse our hands. This is probably one of the biggest areas sometimes we rush through, but this is really important. We've done a real good job of making our hands nice and slick. We want to make sure we get all that off right there.
One thing definitely to point out is the bowl technique is not recommended. This is just for an example for the show. Use running water.
Yeah, definitely want that running water to move as much of those germs off as we can. Next thing we want to do is move to some sort of drying method. For today's purposes, we got some paper towels.
All right.
No, these are in short supply right now, so if not, hand dryers are going to be our next go-to. You can do the pat dry method like that, or if you want to do the rub dry, but probably the biggest thing we can do with the drying method is make sure we get everything very thoroughly dry, because if we leave any wet moist areas like under wedding rings, jewelry and stuff like that, great area for bacteria to hang out and harbor, and we don't want anybody else getting sick, so. But upon conclusion of that, we throw that away in our trash can, and we have thoroughly cleaned our hands.
So I know the FPB staff, and we have a lot of guys out in the field.
We do.
And you're our big field safety guy. Tell us, kind of walk us through real quick what they're doing. They're changing things up, and what people should expect to see when they see them out.
So we've implemented several steps here to try to do our part, like we were talking about earlier, to make sure that we're all in this together, preventing the spread of any type of infectious diseases. So we're doing various shifts, I guess you call it rotations, staggered shifts as such, where certain crews come in on certain days and they are only around regular employees. So we won't be, mixing several employees. We're, of course, practicing social distancing, doing our best to scoot away from folks. We're doing the lean right there. The other things we're also implementing in the field, of course, are disinfectant wipes for commonly used materials, tools, and equipment like that. And then we're also providing hand sanitizers to our field crews that aren't able to, get to a bathroom sink or, ain't not able to wash their hands out in the field as much. We've done education and training as far as kill times on disinfectants, making sure they're using them appropriately, and then also providing appropriate personal protective equipment, if necessary.
All right.
So,
sounds good. I'm proud of the steps Plant Board's taken. We were several weeks ahead of this, already getting our employees trained up, so I feel like we're all pretty comfortable with that practice that has been put in place here. So we're good. We're glad that happened. We hope everybody enjoys seeing a little bit of hand washing demonstrations. A little trick I used to do when I worked at a summer camp to get kids to wash their hands a little bit longer. I get my hands lathered up, and you go just like this, and blow into that, and make a big bubble. Gets the kids having the soap on their hands a little bit longer than just rinsing it right off. So it's a little bit of fun you can have. Dish soap works great for that. But JC,
Definitely.
thanks for coming in and showing us some stuff.
Guys.
And Scott and Kathy, we'll kick it back over to you all.